Squirt, do you want to be in the show? Huh? My little beautiful cat Squirt. Welcome YouTube to my channel. I am your host Brad Claybaugh, and this is Brad's Boredom Busters, your textile art channel. Yes, this is a channel that has fun with fabric. And on today's project, I have a commissioned project. I have a customer that wants a swirl tie-dye, but I got thinking, I want to try something different with this swirl. We have explored in the past incline ice dyes. I have never seen anyone try an incline swirl. So I am going to attempt that challenge for myself on this video. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Yes, I'll explain all my processes in the beginning here. And then when we get into the video, you can watch and observe how I do it. All right, so let's get into it. So obviously what we will start with is a 100% cotton t-shirt. It's white. And for this customer, it's also a 3X shirt. And so I've already pre-washed it and then soaked it in soda ash for 20 minutes and then put it in the washer and spun out the excess moisture. And so the shirt is ready to go. Now, for the incline part of the project, I'll show you what I have in mind. I got thinking, how can I do an incline on a spiral? And I want that where the center of the spiral is high and then it drapes down over an item. So when the ice is on it and it melts, it runs down equally all around. And so the first thing that came to my mind is a colander. And the colander is good, especially for a very large shirt such as a 3X. It covers a lot of surface when it's tied into a spiral. But it's still a little bit flat here. So I took one of my cat toys and it happened to be screwed together. And so I unscrewed it. And so now I have a nice dome there. But the other problem is with the colander, you have the holes. And so I don't want the ice and the dye to drip through it. I want it to run down the side. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to wrap this completely in aluminum foil. And so that'll give it a good smooth surface for the ice and the dye to run down. So when I put the shirt on, the center of the spiral will be here at the top. And then the rest of the shirt will drape around the colander and the cat toy. And then I might even take some kite string and tie it to it just so it holds its form. Anyway, so that's the idea I have, and I think it'll work. And then once I get the colander wrapped with the foil, and then we get the shirt attached to it, then I'll take it out in the garage and I'll put it in my curing tub with the metal rack. And then I'll make a cardboard dam to go around the bottom of the colander. That way the ice can melt and the dye and all will run down inside the tub. And I have a feeling it'll work out really well. And then we may do a comparison at the end of the project because I have an ice dye spiral shirt that I love and I wear it quite often, but it was done flat. And so we can compare if there's a significant difference between the incline version of a spiral ice dye and the flat version of the ice dye. All right, so let's get into the project. We'll go over to the work table. And then I'll start folding up the shirt and getting that tied up. And then we'll wrap this in foil and attach the shirt to the colander. And then we'll get out in the garage. All right, see you over at the table. Okay, so here we are at the work table. This is the 3X shirt. So we're just going to do a simple spiral. Let's turn it inside out first. Lay it out as flat as you can. As many wrinkles out so when you spiral it, it pleats up nicely. Okay, we'll go just below the armpit, so it's about chest high. And just take a pinch. I'm just gonna start spinning that. I am going to try and make my pleats as small as I can on this one, just so the ice dye pattern is intricate as possible. I find the best way for me to kind of get multiple pleats and tight pleats is when I'm starting to move the fabric around to actually pull it away from the center, and that kind of stretches out those pleats and helps make them a little more refined. Some of my rubber bands are getting old. Being in the chemicals, it does deteriorate the rubber on the bands and they just don't last forever. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's nice and tight and still nice and round. Okay, so we'll set the shirt aside for a moment. Now let's work on preparing our colander for the incline. So like I said, I'm going to wrap it in tin foil. So should only take a couple sheets. Perfect. All right, that should work just fine. Then I say the idea is to put the spiral on the center of it, let it hang down. Like I say, you'll probably have to tie it on with some kite string to keep it in place, but that should work. I'm just very excited to see what kind of results I get out of it. You do have a little issue with the rubber bands kind of wanting to push it up in the middle. So, like I say, we'll get some kite string on it. Okay. I've seen other YouTubers I've seen them put rubber bands around it this way. I don't know that my rubber bands would stretch that far. But I also saw another tie-dyer take some masking tape and tape it around there to keep the shape. And maybe that'll work. And then we can drape it over the colander and then we can tie it off to the colander. So let me get some tape. And this will also kind of help act as a dam a little bit. So, all right, let's get this taped up here. Okay, well, let's see if that doesn't work. I know the moisture that's still in the shirt is going to prevent the adhesive on the tape from actually adhering too well, but I think it'll just keep it together enough to keep it from coming apart on top of the colander. Let's see. Yeah, well, that's better. That's better. I like it. Okay. So now let's figure out how to tie it. Maybe this is why I've never seen anyone do this on YouTube. It's not easy. Well, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? But I bet you the rewards will be pretty good. Kite string. Yes, kite string it is. That's all there is to it. Kite string. Just want to snug it up enough so it doesn't kind of collapse and fall apart under the weight of the ice. So just do the best you can to do that. Okay, that'll be it. And we'll adjust it here a little bit maybe, if I can. There we go, that's better. You know what else might really be a big benefit right now? I think so. Let's try that also. There we go. That helps. Yeah, if you can get a rubber band around it after you've got it kind of tied down with your kite string, that helps kind of contain it, keeps its shape. Got a few little stragglers of fabric wanting to squirt out from underneath the tape, but I don't think that'll matter. I think it should get all dyed. Anyway, like I say, it's an experiment. I've got 2 of these shirts, and so if this doesn't come out, I can still do another one for my customer. But it's just something I thought of. It's like, boy, I've never seen anyone do an incline spiral, and so I thought, hey, let's try it. That's how you'll learn and create new things, is coming up with ideas that other people haven't had. So yeah, go for it. Okay, well, I think we're all ready to take this out and get some dye on it. Customer wanted kind of pastel-y colors, so I'll pick those out and I will meet you out in the garage. All right, all my buster buddies. so here we are out in the garage. Got the shirt on the colander all tied off and rubber banded. I made a cardboard dam for the ice. So you can make it out of cardboard or any other material that works for you for your project. And so I've picked out my colors. I'll show them to the camera before I apply them. I've got several colors. Like I say, the customer wanted kind of pastel-y looking colors. So I've got several that are lighter, not terribly bright. I mean, they're nice colors, but they're also not deeply saturated in color. So I think this should work out for what the customer wants. Okay, let's get started on this. Okay, Busters, so it's time for the ice. I've got that here. So let's get the ice on here. And then once we get the ice on, obviously we want to wait for it to melt down. And then after it melts, then you should let it sit a good 12 to 24 hours after the ice melts, so it can cure. Okay, I think we're well covered. So let's say we'll let this melt down, then let that sit and cure. And after it's done curing, I will take and rinse it out. And then we'll do a washout. And I'll add some dye fixative to the wash. And then we'll do a reveal. So hopefully this is going to be what we call an incline spiral ice dye. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching. Squirt, do you want to be in the show? Yeah. You want to just be... No, leave the lights alone. Okay. You know, thought you could be in here, but I guess you can't play nice without messing everything up. So, time for you to go. All right, all my dude and dudettes. So, now that Squirt gave us her seal of approval by thinking the shirt was fit enough to lay all over, let's take a look at our results. So, I mean, we have good color. The swirl came out nice. It's not that much different than any other ice dye swirl that I've done. And actually this corner got a little muddy because the color is kind of gathered underneath that blue tape I had around the shirt. Colors are nice, but it's nothing spectacular. Let me set up a regular ice dye swirl that I've done previously and we'll compare them. But like I say, I don't know that I'd go through the trouble of setting it all up on the Colander again. I think just doing a regular flat ice dye swirl gives you just as nice a results, if not nicer than this. So let's compare with the old shirt and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here we have the two shirts. This is the one we just did on the Incline using the Colander. This one is an older ice dye swirl that I did and it was just done flat. But this actually gave me more of the striations that I kind of expected to see more on the Incline. And this was done flat. And so, like I say, I don't think it's really worth going through the trouble of setting it all up to do it the way we did this one. If you just do a nice pleated swirl and give it some interesting colors. All right, so let's get back to my desk and we'll kind of close this out. But I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Certainly I did. This was going to be an experiment all along. All right, all my Buster buddies, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something new. Yeah, every time you try something new, they don't always give you the results that maybe you expect them to, but then you learn in the process whether or not it's worth doing in the first place. So you have to try it, and that way you learn. But if you have a new idea, then you have to give it a try. Sometimes they work out great, sometimes they're not worth doing again. This one, not so much doing it again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it though. Hey, if you really liked it though, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That really helps me out. And also, if you could, share my videos around. That also really helps. And don't forget, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos I have planned for you. All right, so this has been Brad's Boredom Busters. This is your textile art channel. And don't forget, peace out, baby, and go bust out some art.